Hi, I'm Gareth. I'm Damien.
I'm Fiachra, we're Xerosun, and you're watching the Impact channel.
Davey, he's the bass player. He joined maybe 3 months ago. Martina, she does vocals. She's been with us for the past 3 years, and myself on drums. I joined about the same time as well.
I joined in 2008. I saw an advert on, I think it was Gumtree, looking for a guitarist, and I had my own little projects going at the time, and I figured, maybe it's time to just join a band that's already doing gigs and whatnot, and they already have an album to promote, so it was a real easy transition for me to make.
I'm the founding member. I'm there since the very get-go for my sins. I think we started roughly maybe in between various projects and different names probably 10 years ago. We've had a good few members in and out over the years, but I think the lineup we have now, very happy with it. It's sounding really good. We're making, I think, our best music. The band started about 10 years ago. It was born out of a kind of electro-pop kind of outfit. We decided just to try and make heavier music, a bit more rock orientated rather than pop or electro. We got in new people, and within maybe a year of that, we looked out. We landed a kind of a television show, talent show, I won't say the name. But we got to play to 500,000 people on live television, which was an absolute great experience. Shortly after that, unfortunately, a few members decided to call it a day, so we changed up. We got some new members in, including Gareth, our guitarist, and we were moderately successful after that. We actually had we got our album out, Absence of Light. We had an EP before that. And we had, good success with it. But again, unfortunately, a few people had to move on, do different things. We're working on album number 2. We have a few videos out. We've one live action video and we have a lyric video. We just released an EP just yesterday, last night actually. Yeah. It wasn't a planned release, but I think that pretty much brings us up to today, what we're doing now.
Yeah, the EP is called Seek the Book. Check it out.
I suppose for myself, I was definitely being called up by MCD to see if we would like to play with Avenged Sevenfold in the Olympia. That was in 2010, I think. It went really well. The place was packed out and really well received by all fans there. So it was a cracking night, I think.
Yeah, for me it was Blazefest 5 in Belfast. It was a huge kind of gig, charity thing organised just to support kids with disabilities and things like that. And the place was also packed. We got loads of great reviews from it. Nice stage, brilliant sound, and people.
It was the Empire, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the Empire. Yeah, people responded great. And we got loads of great reviews from it. We got Planet Mosh and a few other things.
Was there anything else like that? There was some cool photographs.
Oh yeah. Loads by Stephen
Brophy.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Stephen.
But there's plenty of money was raised as well for the Belfast Children's Hospital, which is the main goal of the night, so
it's great to be part of it.
I don't know, there's just been so many. I think the live television debut was absolutely fantastic. As Gareth mentioned, playing in the Olympia to a sold out crowd, supporting Avenged Sevenfold was mind blowing to say the least. But there's been some other great things, like even getting to launch the EP last night, which again was unexpected. We weren't planning to release it. It's still very rough and raw. There's still mistakes and everything in it, but we just decided we put it out there and just see what happens.
In the past, we've been such perfectionists that right now we're kind of like, should we have released it? But we'll just play it by ear and see how people react to it.
It's actually quite fun releasing it. As you put warts and all.
Yeah.
It's not something we'd usually do. We'd usually keep everything till it's 100% perfect or as close as we can. The band name, I got that from driving home one day from work, and I misheard something on the radio, and when the radio was low, I didn't quite hear what was being said, but whatever way it sounded was low, it sounded like the word Xerosun, and the more I thought about it, it sounded cool, kind of, because I thought, like, it's a real kind of ultimate apocalypse. If there's no sun, there's no life. We took a decision just from a cosmetic point of view to spell it with an X rather than a Z, and it kind of stuck with us. We've considered changing it once or twice over the 10-year period or so, but every time we got to change it, we end up keeping it. So it's grown on us.
We don't have a sole songwriter in the band. We generally spread the load amongst the 5 members, and it just seems to work that way. A lot of bands, they tend to have 1 or 2 main songwriters, but we generally kind of spread it around, and everybody gets their input in the songs.
I think style-wise, we tend to go for certain, I would say, we look for certain markers in what we're writing. So there's a few kind of key elements, not rules, but kind of things we look for. We like certain parts to be as heavy as we can make them. We're big on having melody through the sound of the song. It should be a melodic song, but we're not afraid to kind of mix and dabble in other genres, other branches of metal. We'll borrow heavily from various different types of music outside of metal as well. We don't try and, there's no limit to what we can do. If someone comes down with an idea from Planet or to Malmsteen or to whatever it is, we'll give it a go, we'll try it, we'll see how it sounds. We like, with Martina's vocals at the moment, we've a great mixture of kind of very clean, really angelic kind of vocals to very brutal, guttural vocals. She's gotten very good at doing the death metal technique, which we love. We love the mixture of having both. Again, we're a very melodic driven band, so it's important for us to be always thinking in terms of, people being able to sing along at a concert or just enjoy the heaviness of it.
For a long time, probably since the early 90s, it's always been Paradise Lost for me. I do model a lot of what I play on Greg and McIntosh himself, just because I really like the way he makes the guitar sing in a nice melodic way. He's the best.
And for myself, as I said before, I come from a kind of more kind of rocky / extreme background. The first album I ever learned on drums was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. And then Paradise Lost kind of came into my life and kind of got me influenced in that sense. Probably ever since Dropping in Times came out, I kind of started basing my drumming off that. And then as kind of years went by, I got into the more kind of extreme death metal, so there was plenty of Decapitated, then Nile, Vader obviously. Then later on I got a bit more experimental with Hannes Grossman from Necrophagus and all that, and went towards that way. And now it's a lot more progressive because of the band, because obviously bands like Lepris and even Animals Leaders, I tried to put that into my playing as well, just to kind of vary it a little.
And for me then, I think I was listening to metal for years until I found one band, Carcass, and after that I stopped listening to every other band for, I'd say, near on, 8 years, 10 years maybe. Even after they split, I didn't really go near any other metal. Then I took a break from metal and got into the Beatles and Blur, but then came back to metal, and a lot of the kind of modern kind of bands like Animals, Leaders, Periphery, Monuments, all these kind of guys. They appeal to me now. They're kind of where I hear things. I also love that New Carcass came back. For me though, anything from classical music to even, dare I say it, country and western influences me in places. I don't limit myself to what I listen to or what I like, so I give anything a listen, enjoy it. Music's music.
We did the video Anatomy of a Lie with Kamil Kulak. He helped us to actually make it all happen. Martina was mostly working on the whole scenario for the video, and she shared the ideas with him, and they kind of came up with what they're going to do with the video and how it's going to look.
We basically rented out a warehouse from Condra, just behind the Croke Park there, and we had the entire floor to set up the gear, and we had a storyline going that Martina and Camille had been working on together. We worked from morning till night, and it was a pretty cold experience.
Actors in it.
Yeah.
We had Helen O'Brien and Angel Crowther doing the acting for the video, and they did a great job.
The artwork for Absence of Light was done by a friend of ours, Seth Zero. He's the lead singer and bassist of Septic Flesh. Seth done a great job, a tremendous job on the CD artwork. It was mind-blowing. But when he actually seen how good the artwork was, he upgraded us from a regular jewel case, which is the glass case, up to a full digipack cover, which was just Seth then gave us extra artwork for that as well, and it was just fantastic. He said he took inspiration from the artwork, from the lyrics, the content of the songs. So big thanks to Seth. It helped us a lot.
So these are our super sexy Meownet guitars, which we have an endorsement with. They're a really cool custom guitar company from Gdansk in Poland. I've had an endorsement with them since 2008, so just before I joined Xerosun. We moved up now to 8 strings, and these are the Regis models. And they have an Evertune bridge, which keeps everything perfectly in tune. We find that quite essential, especially with the low F string, which can be quite temperamental.
We have bare knuckle aftermats on neck and bridge, and with our passive pickups, which we prefer. We've had different brands of active pickups, but I think we're really loving the passives at the moment. And this is actually a Misha from Periphery. It's his signature model. I've done a few slight alterations to it, nothing major. The Evertune definitely is an added addition we have.
Yeah.
And we have the glowing dots.
The lumen lays,
Lumen
which
lays.
when the lights are turned off, is a nice and sparkly under thing.
Yep. But the build quality on them is fantastic. We've had a few mayonnaise guitars now, and the quality is it's mind-blowingly good. I think that there's something like 8 or 9 different plies of wood, and it's a neck true as well, so it goes right through the body. And the sound quality, the play quality is just out of this world. Very, very happy with it. So our guitar rig is, our power amp section anyway, is the 2 Matrix GT1000 FX units. They're very good. We have them powered with our Samsung PowerBright Pro 10. They're connected up to our Axe FX units down in the second rack. We've one for each of the guitar players and one for the bass player as well. They're all controlled by MIDI, which is done up from our Focusrite units up here. And again, we've another Samsung PowerBright 10 power on that rack. And that's pretty much it. We run wireless rigs, and we've a TCL Icon vocal effect unit, again controlled by MIDI, and our Sennheiser wireless unit for Martina on vocals, and that's pretty much our rig.
Basically, I'm using Pearl drums at the moment. I only have an expert here in the studio. I use Pearl Icon Rack. It holds all the holders and all the cymbals, all the toms together on the thing. Cymbal wise, I use a mixture of Sabian, Zildjian and Meinl cymbals. Pedal wise, I'm using speed cover pedals from Tama. They're absolutely amazing. They're not direct drive, but they give me the power that I need with the more extreme parts in our music. They give me all the speed that I need. The velocity of all the hits are always even and always powerful, and I have brilliant control over them, which I was actually looking for in pedals for a long time. Stick wise, I use Vater sticks. It's just a 5/8 model hickory. They have known tips on them for extra aggression and precision as well. I find that every single hit that I make on drums or cymbals is always even, always precise, and the way I want it to sound. Skin wise, I use Evans drum heads. I have a variation of different ones here, just to kind of get the sound that I'm looking for. I have the G1 model, the level 360 G14, and an ST model on the snare. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
The new album what we're working on now, I think we're hoping to have it finished by maybe March. I think it's the plan now. It's gone a bit later than we hoped. We hoped to have it done by the end of 2015. It's just not there yet. Again, we're perfectionists, so a lot of re-recording, a lot of redoing. But we're hoping March 2016. And at the moment, the title is In the Presence of Darkness, which is kind of nearly the opposite of Absence of Light, but also similar. Again, ties in with the band name. We kind of like that about it. But this album's going to be a concept album. It's going to be a bit different to Absence of Light. Absence of Light was a set of single songs. There were certain tie-ins, certain thematic kind of repetition in places, but it wasn't a solid piece. It wasn't a grand plan like this one is. World Domination is the band's main goal.
Absolutely.
World Domination. No, I think
Just to be successful is the number one.
Yeah, just to, I guess, make a basic living out of it. Like, I don't think any of us are in it for the millions, you know. Like, we just want to do what we love and kind of move forward.
yeah, we'd like to bring the music to a wider audience. We enjoy what we're doing. I think the sound would work well in both Europe and the States. So I think the next immediate goal is to get the album done. After that, then a tour. After that, then world domination. There's probably something in between that, but that's what the goal is now.